Channel X, the only show on Thursdays that starts the weekend early. I am your host, TomDog247, and as always, I'm Tom Dog all day and Tom Dog all night. Woo, baby, alright, so... got a pretty interesting show lined up today, as you probably saw in the description. So we got a pretty interesting show this week, so it's gonna be fun. Plus some other stuff that I haven't brought up upon in the description, but we'll get to that as we go along. Well, with that being said, shout outs and everything. Big shout outs going to my buddy Josh over on Absolute Talk with Josh Albert. You can check him out on the Podbean app. You can check him on iTunes, and I think Spotify is also have been included onto that list. I'm not sure. Or you can download the you can download the Podbean app. You can check or you can go to absolutetalk.podbean.com. Give you all the links that you need to check out his podcast. Just make sure on something. Make sure I'm not hitting anything. Okay, I'm good. Okay, got a new chair, so a little bit lower so I'm a little bit closer than usual. So, as of course you all know, last week's chair broke. So I don't know what the hell happened to the backing of it. What happened was the backing fell off, and I don't know what happened. So I couldn't tell you. So I don't know. I'm a little parched today. So, and yeah, probably drinking soda is not the best answer, but I don't give a shit. So yeah, absolutetalk.podbean.com. Definitely worth checking out. My buddy Josh, don't want to miss out on it. He has a wonderful podcast each and every week. Number one, man. Number one. You know, he has my pick for number one podcast. Very entertaining. You know, it's not just because I've been there been on the show a couple of times. It's the fact that his show is really, really awesome, and he has a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun listening to it. You'll have a lot of fun listening to it as well. So check it out, podbean.com, or download the Podbean app. Don't want to miss out on it. Absolute Talk with Josh Albert. Of course, all my friends over at Gamer Geeks and Gaming Pros and otherwise over on Facebook. How you guys doing? Enjoy your weekend and everything. Hope everybody has a wonderful weekend coming up, which I'm going to be talking about as well too. So big shout outs to everybody over there. We have a lot of fun on Facebook. Don't want to miss out on that. Tell them Tom Dog sent you. You'd be glad you did. And of course, big shout outs over to my friends David and Marissa. How you guys doing? Hope you have a wonderful weekend. It's raining right now. Can't see it, of course, but it's raining. Luckily, it's not picking up on microphone. Plugs, not the hair plugs. We all know I don't need them. Loot Crate. If you have not yet subscribed to Loot Crate, you're missing out on some awesome stuff. My crate's come to find out, my crate is going to be for April is going to be late. So it's already we're already near the end of May, and so I don't know. So it's really messing up my schedule. It really is. So I've been meaning to get in contact with them. I gotta talk to them because it's getting to be ridiculous. It really is. Because It's just, I don't know. It's one of those things where it just pisses me off. It really does. Hold on a second. I'm sorry. I'm just like, I'm really distracted. Culturefly.com. Wonderful subscription boxes. Definitely worth checking out. It's worth it. Check them out. You'll have a good time. That's culturefly.com. And I almost forgot that one. Also, Funko. Don't want to miss out on any of their subscription boxes as well. You'll have a lot of fun with them. Star Wars Smuggler's Bounty, Marvel Collector Corps, DC Legion of Collectors, Disney Treasures. Don't want to miss out on that. You'll be glad that you did, and that's Funko.com. And this episode is brought to you by M&J Video Games and Collectibles. Trade in your old video games and consoles from retro video games, accessories, and systems. Trade in your DVD box sets and Blu-rays. You can also trade in your sports cards and novelty items, as well as wrestling collectibles and autographed items spanning from sports, wrestling, and actors. If you happen to be in the Connecticut area and you want to find out the location of it, as well as the list of events that they have going on, which you definitely don't want to miss, because if you're a wrestling fan, we'll get to that on Wrestling Prime later this week. You can check them out on their website at mjvideogamesandcollectibles.com. And this episode is also brought to you by the She Bean Brewing Company here in Connecticut, home of the Downright Up Left YB, just in time for E3. So, if you're a gamer fan, if you're a fan of games, and you love beer, definitely check out the Downright Up Left YB. It's an amazing beer. It really is a really good beer. You can check that out, as well as other fine beers that they have over on their website at shebeanbrewing.com, or you can follow them on the social networks, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or you can download the Untapped app today. Definitely worth every moment of it. And next week, okay, cool. Next week, Sunday, November 17th, November 17th. Oh, never mind. Never mind. Next Sunday, June 2nd, from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. is a New Haven comic and collectible spectacular. Which is at the Annex YMA Hall, 554 Woodward Avenue in New Haven, Connecticut. Toys and comics, old and new toys, old and new comics, collectibles and nostalgia, books and magazines, buy, sell, and trade, something for everyone, hourly prize drawings, free parking, fun for all ages, on-site concessions. And that's from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Admission is $5, and kids 10 and under can get in for free. So, don't want to miss out on that. As there's also going to be another one here at the same place in on November 17th of this year. So definitely worth checking out. And that's at the New Haven Comic and Collectibles Spectacular. So don't want to miss out on that. And trying to see if there is a website to go to, which I do not see. Yeah, I do not see. So, so as soon as I get the website, I will check that out. I will definitely check that out once. Let's see. Okay. So yeah. As soon as I get the website, I'll try to I'll try my best to get that out as soon as possible. So, I got the website as best as I can. So, all right. So, before we get started with what's there's like a lot of stuff going on a lot of articles I found on Twitter, and we're gonna be pretty much going on Twitter tonight. Last night, I just want to give a quick review on last night's live show that they that was on ABC last night. Live in front of a studio audience. It was a throwback to the Jeffersons and All in the Family, classic 70s sitcoms. That was created by a gentleman named Norman Lear. Very well respected in the business. He's done not only those two shows back in the day. He's also done Maude. He's done Good Times, and he has a wonderful list of accolades right there. And Norman Lear is a very well respected in the sitcom genre. So he was there alongside Jimmy Kimmel, who was executive producer of the live event that went on last night on ABC. I actually happened to see it. I actually saw it this morning on Hulu, because I was busy and everything, so I missed out on it. And it was pretty interesting. There were a couple of nitpicks that I had pretty much of a problem with. First off, the boom mic was pretty much in a couple of scenes that took away from the show. It kind of bothered me a little bit. I was like, oh man, it's a live show. It's like boom, and I was like literally yelling at the TV, boom mic, you know. I'm like, really, folks. You know, it's one of those things where I wish I had a boom mic, like a boom mic prop, and just have somebody put it down during the show. It would have been funny. But you know, it just really takes away from everything. And yeah, I use my show mic, you know, my show mic. I was like, that's all you get. I pretty much took that away. But yeah, it was ridiculous. I was like, oh my God. I was like, get out of the shot. Get out of the shot. And another thing. At the beginning of the show, the Bunker family was having breakfast. Okay, they're serving coffee. They have their eggs and the bacon and whatnot. I have one serious complaint. Why didn't they have actual orange juice? You can't fool me when you have orange high C. When you have orange high C or orange Gatorade in the shot. I mean, in on the table. It's like you can't kid me with that. You're supposed to have orange juice. It's like you have high C. That was another complaint that I had about All in the Family. Another thing that I had that I complained about also is that it didn't bother me when Jamie Foxx. And don't worry, we'll get to him a little bit because I have a compliment to give him. But he messed up on a line, and it was okay. It was fine because it happens because it's live. We get to that. But they automatically went into Saturday Night Live mode during that bit, and it was funny, but it just took away, especially when they broke the fourth wall. And it's like, it's live he was like, it's live television. It's like, I was like, oh my God. So, I mean, it was passable, and Jamie Foxx is such a tremendous talent, is a tremendous actor and everything like that. Jamie Foxx is a really cool actor and comedian, and his portrayal as George Jefferson, even though and I say this with all respect, when he's not as he doesn't have the he's taller than Sherman Hemsley, but at the same time, but I can do away with that because he sound exactly like Sherman Hemsley, and I was like, oh my God. It's like, if you go back to back, okay? If you go back to back with this, you definitely, if you do like a side-by-side comparison of just the voice between Sherman Hemsley from the 70s to Jamie Foxx now, it was like, I was like, wow, he pulled it off. I mean, if anybody can pull off George Jefferson, I'm glad they picked Jamie Foxx. It was good. It was good. The side characters were a hit and miss, but I can do away with that. Woody Harrelson as Archie Bunker. I mean, he did a pretty good job. He did a pretty decent job as as Archie. Marissa Tomei as Edith. She was good too. The singing, the opening song was okay as well too. I didn't have a problem with that. It was good. I mean, come on, it's nostalgic. It's like everybody has a proper way of everybody has a way of singing that song, so it's not a problem. I have a hard time with the song, so I'm not going to critique on it further. Um, Ike Barinholtz as Mike. He was good. He was really good. Um, I forgot I forgot the actress's name who played Gloria. She did a very good job too as playing Gloria. Um, as I said before, um, as I said before, Jamie Foxx as George Jefferson blew it out of the knocked it out of the ballpark. He did a very good job of you know recreating Sherman Hemsley's character on the Jeffersons. Wanda Sykes um, as Wheezy. She did a very good job too. Um, Very good job. Um, Jack A. Playing Wheezy's friend. She did a very good job too. Just as like a side character, Will Ferrell, I gotta say, playing Tom. He was really great. He was really cool. Um, and of course Mr. Bentley, the British guy. He kind of looked like Mitch McConnell. He kind of did. I'm sorry. He kind of looked like Mitch McConnell. And I don't know. But it was pretty funny though. It was pretty funny. Um and the biggest surprise of the whole show was they got um um the one that played um in the original. Oops. Hold on. It's all over Twitter. Come on, where is it? Oh, here we go. What the hell? Oh yeah, Kerry Washington uh played Tom's wife. Um Marla Gibbs reprised her role. Um and I thought that was really good. I forgot. I did forget the character's name though. I mean, but yeah, everyone's talking about Marissa Tomei as I think it was I think it was Florence. I think her name. The character's name was Florence. Um, I think. Oh, just bear with me. I apologize, folks. Yeah, Florence. Okay. So yeah, she reprised her role as Florence on the Jeffersons, and it was it was a really great trip. She and wow, I mean, God bless her. 80, it's going to be 86 years old. God bless her. God bless her, man. And Marla Gibbs is a great actress, and it was really nice too to see both Marla Gibbs and Jack Kay in the same shot, and it kind of gave us a little nostalgic feeling too, because they both of them were on a sitcom together um in the 80s and 90s. It was a show on NBC called 227. So it was a really nice nostalgic trip right there to see both of those two um in the same shot together, and it was a really great nostalgic trip. And Anthony I think it was Anthony Anderson, the one that's on Blackish. He was on he was also on there. He played George Jefferson's brother. Um, so it was a nice little nostalgic trip for everybody who was a fan of who was a fan of the Jeffersons and um All in the Family. So it was really nice. I would like to see more of this in the future. I would really like to see that and see to see what happens. Um, it'll be a really nice again a really nice nostalgic trip. So kudos for Jimmy Kimmel and Norman Lear to give us something that special. So it was a really great turnout. It was really good. So all right, so let's go on Twitter. And one of the things I did not talk about that I did not put up in the description, Alabama, or as I like to call them, Alabama, Alabama. um, these redneck hicks over at the Alabama Public Television refused to broadcast a recent episode of the season premiere um of Arthur, where Arthur's teacher was marrying was getting married, and his character was gay. So there was so it was the first gay wedding that they showed, and Alabama refused to show it. Their excuse, let's see, felt it would be a violation of trust to broadcast the episode. Parents trust that their children can watch APT without their supervision, the Alabama Public Television said in response to criticism. And chose not the PBS's Arthur episode that included a same-sex marriage. In the episode, which aired nationwide on May 13th, Arthur and his friends attend their beloved teacher, Mr. Ratburn's nuptials to his partner. ABT preempted the episode by showing a rerun of Arthur. Mike McKenzie, director of programming at APT, said APT was notified by WGBH and PBS in mid-April about the episode titled Mr. Ratburn and the Special Someone, and decided to show a rerun. McKenzie said APT has no plans to air the episode at a later date. Parents have trusted the Alabama Public Television for more than 50 years to provide children's programs that entertain, educate, and inspire. More importantly, although we strongly, and this is what McKenzie said in the email, and by the way, this news article is coming from AL.com, by the way. Parents have trusted the Alabama Public Television for more than 50 years to provide children's programs that entertain, educate, and inspire. McKenzie goes on to say, more importantly, although we strongly encourage parents to watch television with their children and talk about what they have learned afterwards, parents trust that their children can watch APT without their supervision. We also know that children who are younger than the target audience for Arthur also watch the program. App previously pulled an episode of Arthur in 2005 when Buster, a bunny character in Arthur, visited a girl who had two mothers. Our feeling is that we basically have a trust with parents about our programming. This program does not fit into that. This was said by APT's executive then director Ellen Pizzato, and I don't give a shit if I'm saying his name wrong. Misty Sutter, a substitute teacher in McAllen, saw the celebration of inclusion on social media and recorded the episode to watch with her 9-year-old daughter. She and her daughter were disappointed when the episode, which still was named Mr. Ratburn and the Special Someone, turned out to be a rerun. Sutter reached out to APT and used the experience to teach her daughter about the importance of speaking out for the minority groups. So, you can check out the episode on pbs.org. And so yeah, it looks like the mother was so basically Alabama's public television doesn't want to have, doesn't want to school. It seems like they don't want to school your, educate the children like they said they would. From what it sounds like, and parents have that control to either watch the episode with the children or not. But a lot of times parents are around that age where Arthur is being shown on television. They always watch that episode, always watch shows like Arthur or Sesame Street or what have you with their children. I can remember times where, I remember a time when I was a child, they talked about Sesame Street talked about death. Not so often, it was very taboo around that time, where where they talked about that, and this was when Mr. Roper died. And the guy that played Mr. Roper, he died in real life. So they basically pulled the worked around that and basically killed off the character on the show too. That that his character died on the show too. And it was a very touching moment because Big Bird was wanted to give him a picture that he drew of Mr. Roper, Mr. Hooper, Mr. Hooper, and it was so sad because Big Bird didn't understand about what was going on, and then later on they were explaining, and then shortly after they were explaining to what happened. Now, as a kid, that's traumatizing, So my parents love them to death. They, we sat down and we talked about it, and it was a very educating experience. There were times where they would talk about there were times where shows like Sesame Street or Mr. Rogers, they would bring up subjects about running away or dealing with a divorce, being an only child, and everything, and where babies come from, and everything, and a lot of stuff, serious stuff, but death was one of the topics that was really really informative back in the day, and it did teach me, it was educating even then too. Now I'm just waiting for Sesame Street to have like an openly gay character on the show. I mean, they just recently they just brought in a I guess they did bring in a homeless child, a homeless character into the mix. They now just recently have an adopted character also added an adopted character into the mix, and I think what they need to do is they need to maybe educate them about about having same-sex relationships. I don't know. This is a very controversial subject, but I guess Arthur was open about it, and there was nothing. I never, to be honest with you, I never saw Arthur because it came at a time where I was watching more adult content and everything like that. So I was at the wrong age. Obviously I was at the wrong age because I think it was in my 20s when that came. Like 20 years ago when it came out. So again, it was at the wrong time and everything. So it I don't know. But Arthur's been but I mean they must be doing something good if they've been on for that long, really. And so what? So they have an openly gay So what if they have like an openly gay character and they have a gay wedding? Who gives a shit? And Alabama once again wants to dictate what we can and cannot watch, what they can and cannot watch in their community. And to be quite honest with you, they need to cut that shit out. Between being homophobic and being hypocritical when it comes to female species that they want to go and control and dictate how a woman's rights should be handled when it comes to abortions and stuff like that. But then again, you can't, But then again, you gotta. It's like you're talking about a state. We're talking about a state that inbreds 24/7. So and they're nothing but a bunch of inbred hicks, like I explained last week. And I don't call it Alabama. I call it Alabama. Alabama. Nothing but a bunch of redneck hicks. Redneck inbred hicks. So you won't see me go visiting Alabama anytime soon. Not without protection. And I feel that's where the zombie apocalypse will start too. I mean, they already got little mutants running around anyways. Because, brother and sister, they have to breed. They have to breed. Just saying. Ooh, I'm being offensive. Good. Good, I should be. I should be. So, I don't know. So, I want everybody to listen to this. I can get away with it. So, there's no music. But I want you to take a listen to this.
As you look it up, I'd also like you to get back to me, if you don't mind, to explain the disparity in REO rates. Do you know what an REO is?
An Oreo?
No, not an Oreo. An REO.
Let me play that again.
What an REO is?
An Oreo?
No, not an Oreo. An REO.
Yeah, that was Ben Carson being interviewed by Republican Katie Porter. She goes and says she asked Secretary Carson about REOs, the basic term related to foreclosure, at a hearing today. And this was like a couple of days ago. He thought I was referring to a chocolate sandwich cookie. No, really. Carson, who was served as Donald Trump's Secretary of Housing and Urban Development since 2017, appeared unfamiliar with real estate terms cited by Republican Katie Porter, who questioned him on various housing issues during Tuesday's House Financial Services Committee hearing. Now, this is Ben Carson we're talking about, a surgeon. A neosurgeon. He is a brain surgeon. And he got REO confused with Oreo. The goods, the goodness that is a cream-filled sandwich cookie, which is by far the best. And Nabisco, you guys need to bring back brownie batter Oreos. Make it happen. So, I guess, and I guess that's what he was thinking about. He's like, I guess he'd rather be at home eating some Oreos than being in a hearing.
Oreos. As you look it up, I'd also like you to get back to me, if you don't mind, to explain the disparity in REO rates. Do you know what an REO is?
An Oreo?
No, not an Oreo. An REO. REO.
Real estate?
What's the O stand for?
Organization?
Owned. Real estate owned. That's what happens when a property goes to foreclosure. We call it an REO. Mm-hmm. And FHA loans have much higher REOs. That is, they go to foreclosure rather than to loss mitigation or to non-foreclosure alternatives like short sales than comparable loans at the GSEs. So I'd like to know why we're having more foreclosures that end in people losing their homes with stains to their credit and disruption to their communities and their neighborhoods at FHA than we are at the GSEs. As you look it up,
probably because of the fact that he's working on their brains, and so it was like we need to foreclose on your home. Say how much of it? Did you know that your brain's very expensive? Can I have some of that? Here, let's sit down and have some Oreos. I'm bad. Oreo. Wow. Wow. So if you don't want, so let's segue into to another discussion. If you don't feel like burying your loved one or cremating your loved one, why not turn them into human compost? This is coming from U.S. News. This is coming from the Associated Press. Washington is the first state to allow composting of human bodies. Governor Jay Inslee signed legislation Tuesday making Washington the first state, Washington state, to approve composting as an alternative to burying or cremating human remains. It allows licensed facilities to offer natural organic reduction, which turns a body mixed with substances such as wood chips and straw into about 2 wheelbarrows worth of soil in a span of several weeks. Loved ones are allowed to keep the soil to spread just as they might spread the ashes of someone who had just been cremated, or even use it to plant vegetables or a tree. It gives meaning and use to what. So Nora Mencken, executive director of the Seattle-based People's Memorial Association, which helps people plan for funerals, had this to say: "It gives meaning and use to what happens to our bodies after death." Supporters say the method is a environmentally friendly alternative to cremation, which releases carbon dioxide and particles into the air, and conventional burial, in which people are drained of their blood, pumped full of formaldehyde and other chemicals that can pollute groundwater, and placed in a nearly indestructible coffin, taking up land. Hey, she Senator Jamie Peterson of the Seattle Democrat, Seattle Democrat Senator Jamie Peterson had said that it's a serious weight on the earth and the environment as your final farewell. He said the legislation was inspired by neighbor Katrina Spade, who was an architecture graduate at the University of Massachusetts Amherst when she began researching the funeral industry. She came up with the idea for human composting, modeling it on a practice farmers who have long used to dispose of livestock. She tweaked the process and found that wood chips, alfalfa, and straw created a mixture of nitrogen and carbon that accelerates natural decomposition when a body is placed in a temperature and moisture controlled vessel and rotated. A pilot project at Washington State University tested the idea last year on 6 bodies. All donors who Spade said wanted to be part of the study. In 2017, Spade founded a Recompose, a company working on to bring the concept to the public. It's working on raising nearly $7 million to establish a facility in Seattle and begin to expand elsewhere, she said. State law previously dictated that remains be disposed of by burial or cremation. The law, which takes effect on May 2020, added composting as well as alkaline hydrolysis, a process already legal in 19 other states. The latter uses heat, pressure, water, and chemicals to reduce remains. Cemeteries across the country are allowed to offer natural or green burials by which people are buried in biodegradable shrouds or caskets without being embalmed. Composting would be a good option in cities where cemetery land is scarce, Pedersen said. Spade described it as the urban equivalent to natural burial. The state senator said that it has received angry emails from people who object to the idea, calling it an undignified or disgusting. The image they have is that you're going to toss Uncle Henry out in the backyard and cover him with wood scraps. To the contrary, he said, the process will be respectful. Compost is ratified invasion. That's very interesting. I'm not gonna lie. I would actually like to see that happen. Like to see that. I would really much want to see that. But that's very interesting. Very, very interesting. I don't know how. There's many ways to. There's of course burial. There's also, and of course cremation. Of course, Baseball Hall of Famer Ted Williams of the Boston Red Sox actually, when he died, he was cryogenically frozen. So yeah. And I think Walt Disney too. Let's see. And there's also other methods too. Did you know that you can also there's also talks with NASA to send your bodies into outer space, kind of like the send off like that Spock had in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Kind of like that. I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. I really don't have a problem with that. And I don't know. I don't know how I would wind up going to die. I never given it much thought. And I should, because here I am in my 40. Here I am at 40, and I don't even have a plot. It's like I pretty much don't want to be buried. I thought of getting shot out of a cannon and just wherever I land is where I wind up. you know, I have also thought about being frozen. I have thought about that. And hope that in the future I come back as a cyborg. I have thought about that. I think that'd be really cool. Cybernetic organism. I start talking like Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it's like, I am a Terminator. I am the T-1000. Supercomputer. I have another chip right here. I don't know. I really don't know. Turn into a cyborg. You can do it. You could be the Terminator. Can't go wrong with that. I am the Terminator. Oh boy, here we go. The tomfoolery commences. So yeah, I'm pretty much on the hunt for dark berry Dr. Pepper, and my search has been over, and I plan on getting that this week. So, once I get the dark berry Dr. Pepper, I am going to get it. What the fuck is this chick? Oh. Okay. So, attorney Michael Avenatti is charged with defrauding Stormy Daniels. This is on U.S. News. Has been charged with fraud and aggravated identity theft involving his former client, Stormy Daniels. He is also being accused of extorting millions of dollars from sportswear brand Nike, as well as other clients of his in the Los Angeles area. So he's a bad boy. He is a really bad boy. He is a bad boy. And he actually does look kind of shady. He does. He's pretty shady to me. And pretty much to end this all out, Harvey Weinstein has reached a tentative $44 million civil settlement with the women who accused him of sexual misconduct. This is coming from Wall Street Journal. Agreement would pay Harvey Weinstein women who accused him of sexual misconduct, his former film studio's board members, and the New York Attorney General's office have reached a tentative $44 million deal to resolve lawsuits and compensate alleged victims of the Hollywood producer, according to people familiar with the matter. Lawyers involved in the discussions told a bankruptcy court judge on Thursday that they have reached a deal but didn't offer specific financial terms. Adam Harris, a lawyer for Bob Weinstein, to Judge Mary Walrath of the United States Bankruptcy Court in Wilmington, Delaware, said that for the first time as of yesterday, we have an economic agreement in principle that is supported by the plaintiffs, the New York Attorney General's office, the defendants, and all of the insurers. Mr. Harris also said in the agreement, which hasn't been finalized, would provide significant compensation to Mr. Weinstein's alleged victims as well as creditors that did business with Weinstein Company before it filed for bankruptcy last year. So that is good news. So he's a bad boy. And Harvey Weinstein.
Yeah, I'm Harvey Weinstein. Yeah. I gotta give everybody $44 million because I'm Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, I was a very dirty man. A very dirty man. I'm Harvey Weinstein. Yeah. I was a very bad boy. And very bad. Yeah. I did a bad thing. Definitely did a bad thing.
Okay, enough of that. I'm starting to look like him. I mean, really. It's really creepy, with me looking like somebody that you hate. What about talking like somebody that you hate? Oh, yeah, Donnie, how are you, Donnie? Oh, I'm doing all right. Just remember, there's no collusion. Yeah, bullshit there is. Hey. I'm telling you, it's the Martians from the planet Gleevak. Oh, yeah. Alex Ass Jones. Fuck you! Yeah, he's got his heart attack. How many is that now? I don't know. I thought I was heartless. But apparently I was wrong. But I know who took it. It's the Martians from the planet Gleevak. They took my heart. They took it, and they're controlling my body with my heart. Trust me, they're doing that. Remember Suicide Squad? And the Enchantress? That was me. Marsden, it was a reenactment of the Martians from the planet Gleevak. Look it up. Well, anywho, that's pretty much all the time I have for today. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at Tom. Oh, before I even close the show, I forgot to mention something. We're at the end of the month. We're close to the end of the month, which means that June is rapidly approaching. Which means in a couple of weeks, in a few weeks' time, the E3 2019 is going to be coming, and sometime next week before Channel X, before next week's episode of Channel X, I'm going to be uploading a video to explain the schedule that I have planned for E3, and it's going to be very trying because a lot of companies have been some gaming companies have backed out, so it's going to be very tough on what I'm going to be doing this year. So when I get everything all lined up together, I'm going to be uploading that video to address what I have planned. But as you so the Channel X E3 special is going to happen, of course, but we will address that accordingly on what's going to happen. So with that being said, this is all the time I have for today. I will see you here again next week. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at TomDog247. And if you missed any of tonight's episode, you can check it out as soon as I turn off the camera. Thumbs up, hit that thumbs up if you like it. Comment down below. What do you think about this whole Arthur fiasco? Should Alabama, be like, apologize? Obviously, you think that? Actually, you know what? Scratch that. Got a good one. The Terminator, the new Terminator trailer. Did you see it? Did you see the teaser trailer? And if you did, what did you think about it? Let's see. The trailer is Terminator Dark Fate. Tell me what you thought about the trailer, and so yeah. What did you think about the trailer? Mario Batali could face 2 to 5 years in prison, 2.5 years in prison if convicted on sexual assault charges. Here's another one. So yeah, be sure to so yeah. So yeah, what did you think of the new Terminator trailer? Did you what did you think? Comment down below. That's the comment topic for tonight. And you can also chime in about Arthur. If you've seen it, what you thought about it, and that sort of thing. Ringy dingy that bell so you can stay notified on what I'm going to be doing next. Which of course will be the the Wrestling Prime episode. And more importantly, more than anything in the world, and I would love you for it, let's keep the subscribers going, and tell your friends to face hug that subscribe button. We'll see you again here next week. Till then, this is Tom Dog saying take care, so long, peace.